Social media cold outreach is definitely not a huge thing right now, but when we talk about LinkedIn marketing, a lot of people are now using multiple LinkedIn profiles to generate leads from LinkedIn, right? But the problem is that if you have multiple accounts, you're signing in, signing out, you're leaving all these fingerprints behind where, LinkedIn may catch you doing this, and your accounts may all be suspended, or in the worst case banned or removed from LinkedIn. And let's look at other things as well. Let's look at, say, e-commerce. If you are into eBay or Amazon, and you may have multiple Amazon seller accounts or eBay seller accounts, and being signing into multiple stores using the same fingerprint, right? This is going to cause you a lot of problems. It may, you know say, if one eBay account gets into, say, a blacklist, right? Maybe you got suspended. Maybe it may not necessarily be your problem. It could be your customers making a complaint about you, and one account gets affected, and it starts to affect every single one that you left your fingerprints on. And maybe it has to do with, like, PayPal accounts as well, right? And say, like, Facebook accounts as well, Facebook ads account, right? Maybe if you are traveling, you go to different places, and you're using the public Wi-Fi, and these dirty or people who have used this IP address, and maybe they have been banned by Facebook, and then because you sign in using that same IP, it gets bleed to your personal or ad account itself, and it affects your business, right? Let's speak the truth. And that's why we're going to be talking about this too today, right? Hey, what up, decisive marketers? We are going to be talking about Incogniton, and I think that this too is amazing. It's a great idea, brilliant idea, because it helps a lot of us, marketers who run a lot of automations on, especially on social media profiles, e-commerce business owners, or if you're a store manager and you are running multiple stores. This is going to help you tremendously. And of course, most importantly, if you are a digital nomad, or a digital nomad media buyer, for example, and you often have to use such you know uh uh you know you know public Wi-Fi, for example, right? This is definitely going to isolate your different profiles or different fingerprints away from each other, so that when something bad happens, you minimize the damage tremendously. And that's why I think that this is an amazing tool for everyone, right? So yes, my introduction is a little bit long, right? But before I dive into Incogniton, right, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you'd like to see more digital marketing and e-commerce content, right? So here we go. So the first thing about Incogniton, what we got to understand is that it is a it is basically a browser, right? But what is different is that you can set up proxies, you can set up individual fingerprints on each profiles, so that they are completely isolated, right? So let's just kind of jump into the profile creation part, right? So over here you can jump in, you can put in the profile name, maybe you want to assign certain groups, right? And what kind of operating system are you working on, Windows, Mac, or Linux, and what kind of browser version are you going to be using, and whether you want to allow it to use the webcam. Okay, so that, I mean, if you're going to be using this as your kind of day-to-day browser, just to kind of replace your Microsoft Edge or Google Chrome, you can do that as well, right? Because what Incogniton is, it's actually a Chromium browser, so it's kind of similar to, in fact, I would say the user interface is just pretty much like using Google Chrome itself, right? So on top of that, that means you can use uh, the Google Chrome extensions with Incogniton on different profiles. So it's really, the possibilities are endless over here. So let's kind of jump back in right here. Okay, so you can, this is like the overview, and then you can jump into the proxies. Okay, so what happens is that you can, using proxies, right, you can have individual different sort of static IP, or maybe you can have or different geolocations, right, using proxies, and there are different proxy providers out there that you can use. Okay, so you can choose whether you are using, because I'm not a sort of a technical person, right, but you can choose, for example, HTTP proxy. I don't really know what's the difference between them, but basically you can choose different types of proxy connections right here, right? And then if you once you have your premium proxies that you're using, you can put in the username, password, blah blah blah, right? And then you can set certain geolocations. You're using the Incogniton browser as a specific profile, right? Maybe that this person is in in Philippines with this IP address, and it's all completely isolated from what you're using. Okay, and maybe if you don't want, you can don't use a proxy as well, so you're going to be using sort of your own IP address right here, and of course your time zone, and then you got WebRTC. So I don't really know what WebRTC is, so before I did this video, I just kind of looked up a little bit what is WebRTC, and it's basically, I think, certain is like web real-time communications. That's what it's called. So like when you use, like, for example, BitTorrent, it's kind of using this web RTC thing. Maybe when you stream certain content as well, I think it's probably using web RTC as well. So what happens is, when you use web RTC, you will sort of review your own IP address, something like that, your own IP address, which then can be leaked, and sort of your fingerprint might be sort of compromised, I would say, right? So you can choose altered, so it will the you will still have web RTC plugin turned on, but it will sort of hide your actual IP and provide a sort of different IP address, if what I'm understanding right here is correct, right? And then you have real, which means that you will just sort of review your real IP address, okay? And this mode is only recommended if you don't use proxies in your connection. So that means sort of you're just using the browser, the profile, as yourself as a real person, something like that, okay? And then you can disable WebRTC, and maybe certain functions will probably not work in uh in that profile itself. And then also proxy connections, right? So it says that not all proxies support it, so you got to check if the proxy that you're using supports that proxy connection, okay, right? So that's what it is. And then you got geolocation as well. So when a website is asking for your geolocation, for example, if you go on to Google, you make a search, right, it's going to ask you for your geolocation. Or maybe you go on to Google Maps as well, it's going to ask you, and whether you want what's the behavior. Do you want to automatically allow this share your information, or you want to have a prompt and you can decide whether you want to allow or block. You can do that, okay? And whether you want to fill geolocation based on your IP. So that means likely when you use a proxy, I guess it's going to show the geolocation of that, right? And then you've got navigator. This is kind of like what kind of resolution are you going to be using, and then over here is where your extensions are. So you can look for a Chrome extension, put in the link in here, click on add, and it's going to add in install all these browser extensions, and then you can pick different profiles can have different Chrome extension, right? So this is where I think this is pretty amazing because in my I thought that yes, Incogniton is cool, but then I would still have to use either my own Microsoft Edge or Google Chrome, because then it can support the browser extension. But of course, with itself, it already supports all these different browser extensions, which I think is really cool, right? And then on top of that, it will be the fonts, media devices, right? Hardware. I don't really know what all these are. So if you feel that you need to tweak these settings, then go ahead. And then DNS, like enable custom DNS, I guess, and then right, and then some other in here, right? And on top of that, the next thing is then you can import the cookies, right? So like uh maybe you have a particular profile on your social media. You want to grab that cookie so that every time you kind of log into that profile, you're using that profile itself, right? So you can import those cookies, right? And I just kind of want to go back to the extension right here, right? Is that a lot of automation tools are they are built on Chrome extensions, right? So with Incogniton, you can have multiple profiles. You can have multiple profiles, and all of them using different browser extension. And you can have individual proxies on them. So for example, you're using, say, link help, which is a Chrome extension for automating your LinkedIn profile. You can then have multiple profiles running different running link help on all of them, but running on different profiles, as in different LinkedIn profiles, right? So you got like multiple LinkedIn profiles automated every day, just kind of reaching out to more people and connecting with them, and trying to generate leads from there, right? So I think this is pretty cool. Okay, right? So I've already and the cool thing is, like I said, you can have multiple sort of profiles running at the same time. So I have this one right here. As you can see, this is a it looks like Google Chrome, right? I mean, in fact, it might sort of be act like Google Chrome itself, yeah, I mean, that's what it is, right? And on top of that, you can um have two running at the same time. So I click on start. Now it has another one, and I have two different sort of profiles running over here. Okay, so this is what I think that is really cool. And on top of that, you can have team management features, and all that, right? I have to kind of right. I got to go and upgrade my account. I think I forget to add my license in here or something like that. It's not showing you know correctly, but I should have team management features. So what happens is that you can allow your team to also use Incogniton together. You can share certain profiles with them, so I think overall, right, this is an amazing tool. And it is not often that we come across a tool like this. And yeah, I would say that this is like s- you know like everyone should use Incognito. I mean, if you are in the online business, separating your profile, separating your fingerprints, isolating every individual social media profiles, every individual, say, e-commerce store on eBay or Amazon, isolating every profile for uh, your LinkedIn and all that. It's really going to protect you. I would say, yeah, and I think this is definitely, I would say that everyone should be using a tool like this so that you can really protect yourself, right, and minimize damage when you know things go wrong, right? It's going to really protect you and uh protect your investments that you have spent on creating this profile, creating these different e-commerce businesses or stores, or having like for example your PayPal, right? If one PayPal gets sort of banned, and it then bleeds into all your other different PayPal accounts, it's going to be a huge problem for you to receive money, and then you to receive money online, you want to use PayPal, right? So that's why I think that this tool is amazing. It's mostly just kind of I know that this review is mostly just myself talking, but yeah, I think this is definitely a very very helpful tool that I think that everyone should get. So I guess that's all I have to share about Incogniton. If you enjoyed this video, do give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you think about Incogniton in the comments below. Lastly, if you know anyone who can benefit from a tool like this where you can isolate different fingerprints together in one single browser, be sure to share this video with them. I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.